襲来敵襲来バルキリー隊前期スクランブル繰り返すバルキリー隊前期スクランブル完全変形メカニズムのバルキリーを装甲強化アーマードシステム装着完了アーマードバルキリー直ちに発進せよ高徳トイスのアーマードバルキリー出撃
Before we get into the pageantry of the illustrious Miss Macross competition, I think it's important to look back on one participant in particular. Contestant number 12, Miss LYNN MINMEI, and her connection with a certain fighter pilot aboard the ship, Rick Hunter.
There, that ought to do it. Switch on low energy and depress the foot pedals slowly.
Okay, here goes.
That's it. See how easy it is?
Phew.
Wow, you learn fast, don't you?
Thanks.
MINMEI, come on. Okay, Auntie. See you later. We're being evacuated.
They're invading the city.
Yeah, it looks like the civilians got out just in time.
Wow, the whole place is under attack. I hope everybody got out okay.
If you're worried about your girlfriend, we might check on her.
Could we?
Oh, no, you don't. Take it easy, honey. You're okay. We'll protect you. Take care of the girl, Rick. I'll hold them off.
You can't handle them alone.
Don't argue with me. I'll draw their fire while you get her out of here.
By making stew, we can make our supplies last longer.
Right, I forgot. You're in the restaurant business.
No, that was my Aunt Lena's restaurant. Actually, I want to be an entertainer.
Huh. You planning to be an actress?
Well, I study acting, singing, and dancing. Here.
Thanks. You've got a beautiful voice.
Thank you, Rick. If I could do one thing with my life, I want to sing. It's always made me feel so good. I've taken lessons ever since I was 4 years old.
It's always been planes for me. All I ever wanted to do was fly.
I know how you feel, Rick. Sometimes you can't be happy unless you do what you dream about.
So are you sure that being an entertainer is what you want from life?
Yes? I guess.
I don't believe it. Where did this come from anyway?
That's what I went back for. I was returning to get that when you rescued me.
A love letter, huh?
Don't be silly. You can take a look at it if you like.
What's this about? A singing audition and you got to the preliminaries?
That's right. I can hardly believe it.
Huh. What? This says you were accepted for the Miss Macross competition. Miss Macross?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's no surprise. You really sing well.
Thank you, Rick. But this isn't the Earth, so it's all sort of pointless, isn't it?
Miss what? Macross? I wish you hadn't entered that.
The Macross Broadcasting System is proud to announce its inaugural Miss Macross Contest.
The mayor went ahead and entered me without even asking.
28 beautiful young ladies have been selected to compete from nearly 400 applicants.
Don't tell me you're jealous.
I guess I'm acting kind of stupid, aren't I?
Who will be crowned Queen of Macross? You, the viewers, will decide.
MINMEI's entered a beauty pageant?
Yeah, and believe it or not, Lieutenant Hunter said our squadron wouldn't have to come to work Saturday night, so I'm going.
You mean it?
Yeah, he said he wanted a big turnout to cheer for MINMEI.
Oh, maybe he's just in love or something.
He's what? In love? Hey, maybe you're right. That can make you crazy.
Wiser words were never spoken, especially by Ben Dixon. This is not a competition MINMEI wanted to enter, and certainly doesn't think she has a chance of winning. But the mayor of Macross City, Tommy Lewin, seems to be a nice fella, a man of the people, the kind of politician who genuinely looks after his constituents and supports small business, family-owned businesses like the restaurant MINMEI's aunt and uncle own. He seems to treat MINMEI like she's one of his own children, and has probably heard her mention her dreams of singing and stardom. Being the supportive guy he is, he knew this would be a good opportunity for her, or at least a fun experience, to give her a taste of that dream. At the same time, he likes Rick Hunter, sees the kind of good young man he is, the soldier he's become, and is totally aware of his interest in MINMEI. He even tries to help old Rick out in winning her over.
By the way, MINMEI, do you plan to sing for us this evening? I think this would be a lovely time.
I don't think I feel like singing. How about him?
Why, that would be perfect.
But I'm not very good.
Well, I don't have much of a voice, but I'll give it a try.
That would be wonderful.
Listen, Rick, if it were me, I'd keep an eye on him. MINMEI seems to have taken a liking to him. He just might steal her away.
Mayor Tommy Lewin is a good dude, trying to do good things for good folks. That said, MINMEI is certainly nervous about this competition, but feels obligated to go through with it. And rather than be jealous, Rick decides to be supportive, and it's good to see him making these mature choices. Now, I think it's worth acknowledging that, from a contemporary perspective, beauty pageants are problematic. But rather than get all into that, I think it's best we remember this show is over 40 years old when such things weren't frowned upon. And in this instance, I believe it's okay to just take the intent of Robotech and Macross to use this contest as a plot device to move along certain characters onto certain paths, and if anything, brighten the morale of the beleaguered and brave citizens of Macross City and the SDF-1. And it was these very citizens and soldiers that would decide who would be Miss Macross. You, the viewer, will decide. This promo for the contest reached more than the eyes and ears of the SDF-1, though. The ZENTRAEDI intercept the broadcast, and Exodor attempts to decode its cryptic meanings to Britai. However, the signal is fairly garbled, so Britai decides it's best to send their crack team of reconnaissance experts, the greatest trio of espionage in all the ZENTRAEDI ranks, Rico, Conda, and Braun. They head out in their specially equipped Cyclops utility battle pod to intercept this highly sensitive information and discover the nefarious plans of the Micronians.
This is Cyclops Scout Recon Ship 0909. Our orders are as follows. Intercept the information being broadcast by the enemy. Codename, Blue Wind.
The long-awaited competition begins, taking place in the new stadium in the center of town, which could seat at least half the population of Macross City. It's an all-out production, and nice to see that the skilled craftsmen and television producers native to Macross have hit their stride creating new content and shows for their audience. Also, we see one of the grand prizes to this contest, a new plane. Reminiscent of Rick's old Mockingbird, it certainly was a beauty. Designed, fabricated, and constructed right here in Macross. If you weren't at the stadium, you were probably watching at home. The bridge crew was certainly trying to catch the action, even while still performing their normal duties.
And now it's my pleasure to introduce the judges for this evening's pageant. Judge number 1 is the captain of the Robotech Space Force, Captain Henry Glovo.
You know, Claudia, I don't think I ever realized how handsome the captain really is.
You can say that again. So how come you didn't enter the contest? Afraid of the competition?
I love that Lisa just gives Claudia a look like, "You serious?" Anyway, before she can give any answer, trouble starts brewing.
Hey, I'm picking up some kind of enemy plane on my scope. I think it's a recon type.
Which group has patrol tonight? It's the Vermilion Group, headed by Lieutenant Rick Hunter. Prometheus here, calling Lieutenant Rick Hunter. Huh? What do you mean? Hasn't arrived.
I guess all the taxis in town were already busy with the festivities. Somehow Rick wrangles up some other transportation. He's just happy to arrive before it's Minmei's turn to sashay up the runway. Backstage, a nervous Minmei is delighted to meet a certain contestant who just happens to be a real movie star. Jan Morris was a world-class celebrity on Earth before the ZENTRAEDI attacked. She'd simply wanted to be on Macross Island for the history-making launch of the SDF-1 and ended up getting marooned with the other 70,000 civilians on this journey. And she hadn't exactly been thrilled with this situation. It showed in the conversation she was having with her agent near Minmei. Minmei works up the nerve to go and gush at Jan Morris and politely ask for an autograph, to which Miss Morris, who feels bad at being reduced to doing something as tacky as this beauty contest, runs away in tears as her agent chews out Minmei for her insensitivity, leaving Minmei baffled. She's able to work up a smile when her turn comes up, and stuns Rick and the audience in her Chinese dress, sweetly walking the runway, ready to answer the questions of a panel of judges. It's good to see Minmei's little cheerleader section with her family and friends, showing their massive support for her.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, to the judges' questions.
Now, Miss Minmei, would you please tell the panel whether or not you have a steady boyfriend?
Steady? I don't believe I'm ready for that at this point. I mean, I think it's best to have a lot of different friends.
Since when?
Do you find it difficult making friends with members of the opposite sex?
Well, I have one real good friend who's just like a brother to me.
Oh, great. So I'm just like a brother, huh?
Paging Lieutenant Hunter.
Huh?
Speak of the devil.
Lieutenant Rick Hunter.
What are they paging me for?
You are requested to call the bridge of the Prometheus immediately. Lieutenant Hunter, call the Prometheus.
Oh boy, Rick's in trouble.
Huh, great time to get a phone call. This is Rick.
You're supposed to be flying recon. What's the matter with you? Our airspace has just been violated by an enemy plane.
I was just eating my dinner.
You'll report to Prometheus immediately. Step on it, Mr. Hunter.
I get the message.
I love that Rick gets confused by the fancy video phone, even as he's getting yelled at by Lieutenant Hayes, an occurrence he was simply used to by this point. It's weird that he tells her he was eating dinner, though, almost like he knows it's just easier to accept his fate at this time, roll with the punches, and not fight whatever caused this mix-up, especially if it turns out to be his own screw-up. Whatever kept Lisa off his back the most. Rick's Vermilion squad was supposed to be on duty, apparently, but he didn't want to bother Max and Ben at this point. Besides, it gave him a good excuse to arm his veritech with the latest set of heavily armed weapon systems and a blade of armor that ROBOTECH R&D had developed. Strutting out the launch bay of the Prometheus, Rick figured this would keep his superiors happy. However, Lisa instead got on his case for taking the armored veritech out to begin with. But even being on patrol was no excuse to miss Minmei's big shot with this contest. Rick fakes a weak signal from the bridge, tuning Lisa out, and tunes in to the show. But he's not the only one.
Conda, are you receiving anything?
Yes, I'm getting a clear signal. I've just started to record.
Good. Bring up the visuals on screen. What's this? I see it, but I don't believe it.
What? What is it, Rico?
Why, there's this man standing there talking to this woman. They're actually standing there together.
Rico calls Braun and Conda to come over and have a look for themselves. And they can't look away, puzzled at what they see for many reasons.
This is really weird.
I've never seen anything like it. I suppose what she's wearing is a new kind of armor.
But why would they give her such skimpy armor that can only protect such a small portion of her body?
How would I know? Maybe those are the only parts of her that are vulnerable.
I believe it's a formal uniform.
Don't be stupid. It must be a secret weapon designed to look like a woman.
They watch as Jan Morris struts her stuff and charms the judges, seemingly making her a shoo-in to win this whole thing. Rick is just excited to see how MINMEI's doing, and certainly doesn't mind that it's the swimsuit portion of the competition. Unfortunately, this is not the time to become even a little distracted. His veritech cuts his display to show his imminent collision right into the rear of the ZENTRAEDI recon ship. He reverses at full thrust, moving away, but they've detected him despite their own distractions, and launch a few missiles his way. Rick is shaken by his near miss, watching the missiles approach, and is torn between dealing with them and cheering MINMEI in her big moment. He makes the right move, taking out the missiles in the nick of time. If these guys want to fire missiles, he'll show them how it's done. Every hatch, nook, and cranny on the extra armor on his veritech opens up, launching dozens of missiles at the Cyclops unit. Rico and his team are able to blow most of them away, which impresses Rick as he braces himself for their counterattack. His ablative armor does its job, protecting him from their return fire. After their volley, he ejects the rest of his armor to be more maneuverable and attacks the ZENTRAEDI pod with all guns blazing. His console exploding in front of him, Rico yells to Conda and Braun to get to their escape capsule. Rick isn't letting them go that easy, tearing through the ruin of their front end, busting through the hull, ready to dance. But there's no dance partners, just MINMEI on the screen. What were they doing watching her and the contest? As the escape capsule ejects behind him, he has no time to react. The entire ship explodes all around Rick. The 3 ZENTRAEDI spies confirm their enemy target was destroyed. However, their recordings of the Micronian ceremony were as well. Rick's veritech floats among the wreckage in space, with Rick unconscious, his screen static. The SDF-1 bridge confirms the explosion of the ZENTRAEDI ship, but they themselves are too distracted by the MISS MACROSS contest, although Lisa at least wonders what happened to Lieutenant Hunter.
I can't stand the suspense. It's down to the finalists. I guess we must have missed a lot of it, huh?
I wonder why Rick is taking so long to return from his patrol.
He's probably just busy checking out the beauty contest.
I don't think so.
I knew it! Jan Morris made it to the finals. It's hardly a surprise.
Yeah, you're right about that. There aren't too many females that can stand up to Jan Morris.
I don't know. That girl from the Chinese restaurant's pretty hot, too.
Well, it's like a dream come true. I can't believe that I've really made it to the finals.
She could do it. You know, she just might be the winner.
You bet she will. She's really great.
Don't be silly, Ben. This whole event is a publicity stunt designed to promote Jan Morris.
Just because she's a famous movie star doesn't mean she'll win, does it?
A professional actress like her shouldn't be allowed to compete in a contest like this. She should be an honorary guest judge or something.
You mean you think they've fixed it so that Jan Morris will win?
No way. They couldn't get away with that because the people decide who's the winner.
It is great to see MINMEI has made it to the final 5. Even Claudia noticed her. But it's hard to deny Roy and his cynicism that the crown will probably go to such a professional as Jan Morris. Jan Morris sure seems to think so. But it's up to the audience to vote as the ballots are cast and the tallies come in.
Press your button now. The computer is now calculating your choice. Who will be Miss Macross? We'll have a decision in just a moment. Yes, we have a decision. The winner is Miss LYNN MINMEI. LYNN MINMEI, ladies and gentlemen. LYNN MINMEI.
MINMEI.
And now, let's take one final look at the queen of this year's Miss Macross Contest, LYNN MINMEI!
Miss Macross, MINMEI, you made it.
It's endearing that Rick's first thoughts when waking up after surviving an explosion are of her. He's excited to see she won, can hardly believe it. For her, it's an absolute dream come true. Despite the excitement of seeing MINMEI achieve those dreams she'd often spoke of, Rick is filled with the most foreboding feeling. A feeling of his own dreams being dashed. The dream he had that maybe one day he and MINMEI would truly be together.